Good morning. Welcome to JP's morning brief for February 27th, 2026. I hope everybody's having a good evening. Good morning. I'm sorry about that, man. I'm still tracking. We had an eventful last night. We were at Pints and Politics in Gatesville, just having a fun time and stuff. But Gatesville to Copper's Cove, if you're familiar with Central Texas, that could be a pretty good drive, especially when it's dark outside. But we did have fun. My buddy over here, Bended in Half, that's on the chat right now. He was there too. He had a little bit longer drive than me, just a few more minutes, but it was pretty cool. But welcome to JP's morning brief. As we get started, if you are not a follower on of mine on the JP8 report, please click that follow button and also give us a like. And like I was talking about the live chat a while ago, we had a pretty good conversation about this last night because he hears me talking over the computer, which is cool. But I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not crazy. I'm no. So during the daytime, it was a really funny guy last night. But during the JPA report, I have a really good friend of mine. His name's Rob. He's my quote unquote hall monitor, right? And I talk over the computer, and he answers me back on chat. I'm not talking to myself, but it was cool. Man, I thought I had done something really really bad, and because he said, "Hey man, can we talk a little bit after our meeting?" And I thought, "Oh great, what did I do wrong?" But that was cool. That was such a lighthearted moment. And a buddy of his, I'll give his name up to. His name is Greg. He said, "Hey, you're on Rumble, right?" And like, yeah. And like, okay. And we explained the live chat a little bit, which was really really cool. It made for a funny event. So if you don't know, my primary avenue on my podcast or Rumble, but I simulcast through YouTube and Facebook and X. All right. Matter of fact, X isn't even showing up on my screen. I'm gonna have to check it out. But hey, we are in the chat. We're online. We're moving. We're running out of time. So I need to really get started. Welcome to JP's morning brief. So I'm still doing America 250 during the morning time, especially on Friday because I have Friday and Saturday to make up on America 250. So I do the Friday morning one, and then I do the Saturday in the Friday afternoon. All right, so America 250 for today. Actually, I have a battle to talk about just for a couple minutes. There was a battle in North Carolina. If you look on Wikipedia, it says it's a minor skirmish. Dude, this was not a minor skirmish. It was called the Battle of Moores Creek Bridge, and it took place near Wilmington, North Carolina. There was 1,000 patriots, 1,050 patriots against approximately 1,000 loyalists, and the major people involved was Donald McDonald. He was a British. He was he was sick during the battle, and he was captured as a POW. His two deputies, John Campbell and Donald McLeod, both of them were killed in action during the battle. And on the Patriot side was James Moore, Richard Caswell, and Alexander Livingston. All right. Um, so as the result of the battle of that day was the Patriots lost one killed in action and one wounded in action, and then the Brits or the Loyalists lost 50 killed in action and 850 captured. All right. The result of the battle after the engagement was done with was there was no further Loyalist action in North Carolina. until 1780. 3.5 years it cost the Brits because they lost that one battle in North Carolina on the 27th of February, 1775. Chalk a victory up to the Americans. Okay, that was cool. All right. So this is the stuff I like to do. I like to talk about history. I love my politics, but I have a degree in history, and this is America 250 or semi-quincentennial, and we really, really have to promote that because our kids are going to be here long after we're gone. Our grandkids are. They need to know about this stuff, right? Uh, if you like what I just did, put an American flag in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and do it first to lead the way. That's what leaders do, right? So I'll put an American flag in there. All right. And then I'm going to put a Texas flag in also because we're celebrating our 190th anniversary as Texans. All right. Right now we're in the middle of the Battle of the Alamo, which will culminate early next week for 190 years. And then right after that is Goliad, and then onward to San Jacinto. Okay? All right. So, if you don't already know about the Dalmatian Texas burgers, you do need to know. They make smash burgers and custom dogs right here in Copper's Cove. All their ingredients are homemade and fresh. They're open for lunch Mondays through Saturday, 11 to 2, and for dinner or supper, depends on where you're from. I like to call it supper. From Tuesday through Saturday, from 5:30 to 7, unless they sell out. And they're located on the west side of Copper's Cove, behind Bush's Chicken. You got to try them out. You got to try that armadillo burger. All right. So we'll go there. All right. So for the brief, okay, like I said, I'm going to cover some of it. And I'm going to cover more in detail later on, unless I find something more. There's stuff that keeps spilling out of the news. I was just walking back here, and evidently, Mamdani, the communist, came to an agreement with the president yesterday about housing, and the devil's in the details. It's supposed to be $21 billion grant or something like that for housing units in New York City. I bet there's a statement in there that says you can't put illegal aliens in these housing units. I would hope that is it, because that would be remarkable, because that needs to happen. We cannot allow illegal aliens to stay in our country. It's detrimental to our kids, our kids, our grandkids, on the process of looking and keeping jobs, well-paying jobs. I have a daughter about to finish her master's degree in a couple months. I don't want her being shoved out of the system by someone that's not supposed to be here when she needs to be making a whole lot of money because she's getting her master's degree in genetics. All right. So that, and then a little bit more about the intercepted phone call that Jack Smith said that was in the protective files of the FBI. Her lawyer, and I didn't catch his name, was that he would never, he said he would never, never, never allow a phone call to be recorded between him and a client, because he would be utterly disbarred as a lawyer and never practice law ever again. That he would never, ever, ever agree to being recorded for the government against one of his clients. So there's more. Did those FBI agents that did that warrant, did they lie? You know, we have the FBI union out there saying that Cash Patel should have never have dismissed these 10 FBI agents. But every time we look at Arctic Frost and look at what the FBI is doing in terms of these search warrants and gag orders and stuff, these people are lying through their teeth and superseding the Constitution of the United States. Like they were giving gag orders to all these banks and companies saying, you cannot tell the client that we seized these records. Why? Where in the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution says you can issue a search warrant and the person that's at the point of the search warrant can be notified that they are under investigation and that their records are being seized? You tell me if you are on my chat or in the comments and you actually agree that the FBI or the Department of Justice can go in there, seize your records, and not tell you that they're doing it, and to hang you out to dry for something you have no idea what's going on, and that be legally justified. That those lawyers, those FBI agents need to be charged with the violation of the Fourth Amendment and sent to jail, tried, convicted, and sent to jail for doing something like that. And I would like to know, did Jack Smith know about them doing that? And did President Ottopen, did he know about it? And did Merrick Garland know that that was happening? Because someone's lying. And I don't think that lawyer is actually lying about him okaying his phone call to be actually recorded. Call me naive. I don't think that really happened. If you agree with me, say something in the chat. Put an American flag in there. Support Susie Wiles and Cash Patel on what they're doing. Right? Dan Bongino used to be there. He's back doing podcasting. He's blasting these people. You should have heard his podcast yesterday. It was something else. All right. So I'm going to drive on because I'm getting into a whole whirlwind. I'm not even going to touch anything around here. The day is the last day for early voting in Texas for the Texas primary. If you're a Republican, I don't care about the Democrats. If you're a Republican, get out there and vote. Cast your vote. If I get a chance, I definitely will cover it at noon. But there's a report out of the Texas scorecard is making a case for closed primaries in Texas down in the. Let me see. I'll open it up. Let's see. That one right there. All right. So I'll just go over this real quick. In Texas's 7th congressional district, the Republican primary is revealing how open primaries can allow Democrat-aligned money in voters to influence GOP nominations. For example, one GOP candidate in the Houston area seat has deep family ties to Democrat causes, yet is now asking Republican voters to send him to Congress. FEC records show that Alex Kalei, the father Bashar Gay, has given more than $145,000 to Democrats and Democrat-aligned committees over the years. That includes $36,100 to Hillary Clinton Joint Fundraising Committee, $30,700 to Democrat National Committee, and $25,000 to House Majority PAC, and thousands more to Beto O'Rourke, the late Sheila Jackson Lee, and other Democrats. In contrast, Bashar's Kayla given to Republican candidates just totaled $2,800. Mr. Kalei has never voted in a Republican primary, has loaned more than $100,000 to his own campaign, presumably money from his salary at his dad's company, Ameripex. I have no idea what Ameripex is. My father is a Democrat and I am a Republican. I've always been more like my mother in that way. In the way this district is drawn, there's no way Republican to win without getting votes from people who are not traditionally voted for Republicans, added Calais. I hope to break new ground with messaging of safe neighborhoods, rising wages, and job opportunities, a bright future for our children, values that Lizzie Fletcher had abandoned as she serves the D.C. Special Interests to keep her power. Lizzie Fletcher is his opponent, I believe. Lizzie Fletcher is an incumbent Democrat representing the district, according to Ballotopia. Uh, Based on results from 2024 and 2020 presidential elections, the Cook Partisan Voter Index for this district is D plus 12. This means that in one of those two presidential elections, the presidential results were 12% points more Democrats than the national average. Some of the other candidates seeking the GOP nomination for CD7, that'd be Congressional District 7, have a different view of Khalil's bid. This is not a candidate with an independent record of conservative achievement, said Alex Hale. This is a family enterprise seeking a congressional seat. As Texas does not have party registration for closed primaries, any eligible voter can choose which party's primary to vote on election day. This means Democrat voters can legally cross over and vote in a Republican primary, even if they plan to support the Democrat in November. And then the GOP is currently suing Secretary of State to close our primaries, which is right. This guy is a liberal. I don't care what he's saying. He is drawing support to him so a Democrat could be elected in November. Case closed. Close the stupid Texas primary system for the Democrats and for the Republicans and make you make a choice on who you want to vote for. You have to do that. The fact is that he's loaning himself money to dilute the Republican primary to ensure that a Democrat gets elected in November is asinine. This is stupid. All right. This isn't even what I wanted to even cover this morning. This is crazy. All right. So if you're watching me, give me an American flag. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. So the first thing I wanted to talk about that I got listed on my outline is a federal judge yesterday gave the okay for the president to build the East Wing Ballroom, the White House Ballroom, the $400 million ballroom that a bunch of environmentalist wackos and liberals don't want the president to build because he didn't get it approved by them because his friends are funding the whole project on a ballroom that we need for the president that we never had. Why? I'll put it like this. Why would you want your recipients that want to show up at your events at the White House to sit in a tent? Why can't we have a facility on the White House grounds on 18 acres that'll allow the president to sit several hundred people and have a good time and show the majesty of the White House? Because it ain't going to be like, let's put a few studs up here and slap some bricks on here and put some stucco on it, make it look white, and we're done. No, this is going to be good. Okay? So, quickly, as we run out of time, it's already 6:50. Man. The president, a federal judge on Thursday denied a legal challenge to President Donald Trump's White House ballroom project, clearing the way for construction on the estimated $400 million expansion to proceed. U.S. District Judge denied the injunction sought by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. What in the world is that? I've never heard of it. It's a bunch of non-profit liberals that don't have nothing better but to collect the money from people and do nothing but argue. Okay. uh, saying the group was unlikely to succeed on its merits. The group sued Trump administration in December to halt construction. What are you going to do? Just leave a hole in the ground? Arguing it skipped the required reviews and failed to obtain congressional approval before demolishing the east wing of the White House. Like I said, what, they wanted to rebuild it? He wrote that the challenge failed because the White House office in question is not an agency under the APA, and because the plaintiff did not bring what was needed to challenge the president's statutory authority to complete the project with private funds and without congressional approval. Uh, Trump celebrated the decision on Truth Social, saying the ballroom would be essentially funded by private donors. Oh my goodness, man! All right, you can't blame these people for losing. This is ridiculous. Um, Hold on just a second. Let me refresh my screen here. There we go. All right. Uh, so, I mean, if y'all like the fact that the president um, got a victory here, another great legal victory for the president. Even though they said that the president, that the liberals can actually appeal it if they want, but the chances of them winning are not there. Um, okay, so we'll cover more of this a little bit later. It just makes my day. It really makes my day. All right. So and then the Federal Housing Finance Agency Director William Pulte, he just got confirmed by the Senate a little while ago. He confirmed that the president deployed $200 billion from from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac into the mortgage industry, right, and caused interest rates to fall below 6%. Um, I was wondering, I heard about this yesterday morning, uh, and I was like, well, that's great because the Federal Reserve didn't actually cut interest rates. So how did they fall below 6%? Because I was saying yesterday, when we first bought our house here, we financed it at 6%, and this was back in 2008, and we refinanced it right before I retired from the Army at 4.25, which was awesome, right? But they just dropped for the first time below 6% since 2022. And the thing is, he bought into the system to make the interest rates go down lower, which is like quantitative easing, and you're pushing money into the system. It's kind of a risky thing to do, but it worked because it makes buying a home um, more economically feasible for younger adults in our country that want to actually purchase a house. If you agree with that, put something in the in the chat for us, all right? Because I'll just read a couple paragraphs on this one, and then we'll get more into it at noon. Federal Housing Finance Agency William uh, Pulte said President Donald Trump is moving aggressively to drive down borrowing costs, deploying roughly $200 billion. Oh, I said million a while ago. This is 200 billion with a B from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to purchase mortgage bonds, a step he said would lower rates boom right away. Uh, Pulte joined Fox News Business's Mary Bartiromo, one of the smartest ladies in finance journalism, uh, to say that administrative actions directly targeted affordability and market confidence. The effort follows a sharp turnaround in mortgage conditions over the past year, with rates now carrying a five handle. I don't know, and hovering above 8% previously, according to Pulte. He credited the president's broader inflation fight and direct intervention in the mortgage market for the shift, arguing that lenders have already tightened spreads as the risk comes out of the system. This is really good stuff. Really good stuff. Had, uh, my hats off to the president. Uh, a couple more things because we are running out of time. 30 minutes is too long. I need to actually make this an hour. Now, I'll wait until noon to be able to do more. Former President Bill Clinton today will be deposed by the House Oversight Committee, which is James Comer. Hopefully, Lauren Boebert, Congresswoman from Colorado, won't decide to try to take a picture of him during the deposition because you're not supposed to take the pictures. Uh, she caused a disruption yesterday when she snapped a picture of uh, of Hillary Clinton and then sent the picture to Benny Johnson for his podcast. It probably gave him 50,000 new viewers just to see a picture of Hillary Clinton being deposed. But today is Bill Clinton's turn, and he has some major questions to ask. Specifically, the video it was either a video or a picture of him in a hot tub with a very young lady in that hot tub. And it was rumored that she was like uh, under 18 years old. Because I'm not going to pinpoint the age, because I may be wrong, and somebody will get mad at me. But there's all kinds of pictures with young ladies, not Hillary Clinton. Uh, she was saying yesterday that she knows not. I know nothing. I messed that quote up. From Hogan's Heroes, if you didn't know what that was. I know nothing. That's Sergeant. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Sergeant Krauts or something like that. But yeah, so she did an explanation of why Geraldine Maxwell was at her daughter's wedding. Um, but the question is, how did Bill Clinton do everything that they said he did under the nose of Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of the State of the United States? How in the world, and a senator from the state of New York, how in the world did all this happen under her nose and she did not smell nothing? Hopefully we'll find out something this afternoon, right? Um, and then the Taliban attacked Pakistan. Pakistan is irate about it. They're fighting back. They call it extensive. Taliban unleashed extensive operation on Pakistan as deadly border strike erupts. I'm telling you, if it smells, it smells. But I'm looking at pictures, and the Taliban are using U.S. Humvees. Oh, that's right. President Otto bailed on Afghanistan and American soldiers and surrendered everything to the Taliban as we left in 2021. That's right. So now the Taliban are using our abandoned equipment to attack Pakistan. What gives? What gives? All right. So I'm out of time. I'm out of time for this morning, which is all right. We can live with it, right? There's always 12 noon, right? 12 noon central. So if you want to locate me, these are my socials: X, Facebook, YouTube, Truth Social, and jpa report@gmail.com. All right. Thank you all very much for tuning in this morning, and I will see you at noon central for the JPA Report episode 340. And I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to go to change my screen out, and I'm going to raid over to Vince if I can get back to it. Oh man. Okay, hold on. Okay, the raid is happening. I'll see y'all in a few hours for the full report. Got 8 seconds. All right. See you later.